everybody, Stephen Key here, and once again I have a very special guest. I have an inventor that's got a fantastic product. I saw it the other day and I fell out of my chair. It seems so easy, but why hasn't anybody ever done this before? Steve, thank you for coming on Invent Right TV.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm excited to be here.
Well, first of all, you're kind of the faucet guy. I'm looking at all these faucets behind, but you reinvented this, didn't you?
Absolutely. This is our widespread and polished chrome, and we have it in multiple finishes. You know, it's one of those why didn't I think of it ideas, right? If you and I grew up in an era where there was no curved shower curtain rod. And in 2003, Westin Hotels introduced the curved shower curtain rod, and now they're everywhere.
Okay.
So all this is a simple combination of a water fountain and a water faucet.
All right. So when I want to drink, this is what I do. I go to the kitchen, I turn it on, I cut my hands if I don't have a glass. Okay.
So your hands may be dirty. You don't know what you've touched last.
Terrible. They're terrible. So, but you've got something to where you really make it easy to get a drink, right? I mean, explain it to us. How does it work?
So it's very simple. All you do is rotate the lever. And what's cool about it is the water that's coming downward on a normal faucet is 2.2 gallons per minute. When I cut off that downward flow, it's only 0.26 GPM. So you're saving water without even trying.
Okay. But wait, I'm saving water, but I'm getting a nice drink. Aren't that's the trick.
That's right. Well, it may not be just a drink. So along this journey, I've been doing this for 5 years to bring it to where it is today. And I've raised almost $1 million in different ways.
Okay.
So let me explain. Along the way on these many uses, I've been giving the faucet to various people in our production pilot. Okay. They've tried it out. And like, for example, my wife uses it every night. She used to take and have to splash her face to get facial cleanser off. Okay. And water would go all over the counter.
That's true.
Now she dips her face into a gentle fountain stream. And it works for shaving cream as well. So the other thing is when I mow the grass, I push mow the lawn. And I come in on Saturday, might get something in my eye. Perfect home eye wash station.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then there's even more. I turn around, there's always more uses.
Now, wait a minute. Now, this concept has been around for a few years, hasn't it? Because I've been over I think, in Rome. I saw it in Rome. Did I see it over there?
You did. So with each faucet, I have actually a little story. Okay. It's a cloth printed story. And it says that when my wife and I were looking into going to Rome, we saw a video of a little girl blocking off the downward flow on a what's called a Nasoni, which stands for big nose in Italian, because it hung down like a big nose.
Okay.
So anyway, they would block that downward stream up. The water would flow from the Apennine Mountains down through the Roman aqueducts, through the streets of Rome, up through these little things that look like a fire hydrant. They block it off at the down. It comes out the top like a water fountain.
Okay.
And so when I saw that, I was like, why hasn't anybody put this in the bathroom? That's 150 years ago they were installed. There's 2,000 of them in the streets of Rome.
All right. Yeah. Brilliant. Congratulations. All right. Does it take a lot of money to do this?
Yes, absolutely. This is not an easy thing. And so I told you before, raising money. Okay, I bootstrapped this for many years, and I entered a number of competitions, startup competitions. Okay. I won $10,000 in cash and prizes at the Inc. magazine and Cox Media event in Virginia Beach. And I didn't even have a product yet. I didn't even have a prototype yet. But I had my first patent, and I had a CAD model. And I actually presented well enough that I won that competition. That allowed me to build my first prototype. Took that, applied for Steve Harvey's Thunderdome back in 2017, flew out to Hollywood, got on the show, was on stage with Steve Harvey, competed against another entrepreneur. I won $50,000 on that show. And then
wait a minute. Is it the product, or it's you're a good pitchman, or is it a combination? What is it? Is it a combination of both, or just a great idea?
I think it's a combination of both. When we were on stage, we're trying to get the audience's vote. And so you have to be able to engage the audience. And I think I did that pretty well. And it was a lot of fun.
Well, where'd you learn how to do that?
I used to put on events for the International Council on System Engineering here locally. And we used to have great keynote speakers. And I would ask them, where did you learn how to speak so well? And I said, was it the National Speakers Association or Toastmasters? And the guy says, the National Speakers Association will teach you the business of speaking, but Toastmasters will teach you how to be a better speaker. Okay. So I joined Peninsula Toastmasters.
Good for you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're going along. You got, boy, I tell you, if you can win a contest with a patent and an illustration, congratulations, number one. That's like impossible. Okay, so you're raising money. You go out and you're winning dollars of these contests. What else do you have to do? I mean, $1 million is a lot of money.
Well, you got to also never give up. You got to have the right attitude that you're going to succeed. Okay. So a great story. I flew out to Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch in March of last year. Have you seen that show? It's Sprint sponsored. It's only on YouTube.
No, I haven't.
The concept is you get on the elevator, you got 60 seconds to pitch. They have the camera just on you. You get to the top, they open the door, they don't.
Right.
Well, I didn't show my product. I have it all stacked on a shelf that I poured it onto the elevator, and I have my product in a bag. My faucets. And the idea was I want to develop their intrigue. And I said, I've reinvented the bathroom faucet. It's patented. We won the best of the kitchen and bath industry show. And we're at the goal line. And with your help, I know we'll get there. Well, they gave me thumbs down. So I got sent back home. I spent $2,000 traveling just to go there. So I'm thinking, why did this happen? Well, 3 weeks later when it aired, there's a lady my wife's company, my small business, worked with at the Richmond District Small Business Administration named Marcy Posey. I hadn't talked to her in 5 years. She saw it on YouTube, saw it air, called another guy, said, Ben, you need to meet Steve. She rode the school bus with Ben 50 years ago when they were kids. Her mother was the school bus driver. Ben has a company that he works with an investor in Minnesota. Ben calls me, says, we talk about it, and he goes, you need to meet my investor. We had a call the next week with their investor. The investor says, if we're going to go any further, we think you need to come to Minnesota. So in August, I flew to Minnesota of last year, presented the concepts. We hit it off. By December, we closed on a $600,000 investment for 25% of the company.
All right. Shark Tank? Why aren't you on Shark Tank? Have you tried Shark Tank or what? No?
I applied for Shark Tank in July of last year, made it through the first round, but the video submission round, I never heard back. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. So it takes a lot of money. How long have you been working on this for?
So 2014, January 2014, I made my first proof of concept.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, Stephen, I presented it to my stepfather, who was in the plumbing industry working on aircraft carriers and submarines. Okay. And I showed him what I wanted to do, and he laughed. He said, what are you going to do with that? I said, well, when you have to rinse after you brush, what do? Tilt your head, cup your hand, and use a cup. He goes, I don't use any of them. I said, what do? He goes, oh, I just take my teeth out and throw them in a glass, because he was 80 years old.
Hey, show me the box, because you showed me the box. The box is really nice. Okay. Where's this selling right now? Where can I get one of these?
So right now, we just finished a Kickstarter campaign. We had a very small goal, $5,000. We hit 358% of our goal. It's just a little awareness campaign. We didn't put a lot behind it, but we got a lot of publicity, some press. That's what I wanted. So now we have 6 manufacturer representatives in 6 states that we're sending 40-some faucets on consignment to get the ball rolling. All right. So it's only available in.
So you're still working hard, but your products look great. Who's manufacturing these? These are beautiful.
We've got a company that makes faucets for Franke. You heard of Franke? They also make the accessories for IKEA. I know you've heard of IKEA.
Of course.
They're an ISO 9001 certified factory, and it's over in Asia. But there's not a lot of cast brass factories in the U.S. This weighs 6 pounds. It's solid brass. Right. My background is building nuclear-powered aircraft carriers and submarines. When I decided to reinvent the faucet, I thought, I want to take and build the best faucet, not just the most functional, but have the best. Right. So we have ceramic disc valves, PVD coatings, and solid brass.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I think it's amazing. I love that. There's a lot of twists and turns, isn't it? What advice would you give somebody else that's just starting out that has an idea?
Well, number one, money's a challenge for everybody. And there are so many startup competitions today. Look for those and try to win those to gain more funding to help you make the next step. Keep looking for that next step and then celebrate each of those goals you achieve, because it helps propel you to the next level. As I mentioned, $600,000 came in December. I'm getting ready to close on another $250,000. I put in a little over $100,000 myself, and I've won over $80,000. So that gets us over the $1 million that I mentioned.
All right.
So it takes a lot to get there, but it's been 5 years in the making.
Okay.
Not only that, I also have Chinese patent and a Chinese trademark.
Good for you.
So the only thing I want to mention, Stephen, when I said to you about the different use cases, I hear different ones all the time. A builder's wife said, I could have used your faucet last week. I said, why is that? She said, I had vertigo. And the more I bend over, the more dizzy I get. Other people with back pain have told me this would help them a lot because they don't have to bend over as far.
Hey,
So
all I know is this: that the Romans been using it 150 years. How many years ago? I've seen it.
1872 is when the first one was installed.
And no one else saw it but you.
You know, it's funny. I have a Dr. Kominiarek, Robert Kominiarek in Ohio, and he's America's fitness doctor. And he is Italian. He says, I've been to Italy. I've drank from those faucets. I never thought about putting them in the home. But if you're doing this, I want in.
Yeah. Smart idea. Steve, thank you very much for coming on. All right.
Well, first of all, I've got your book, One Simple Idea, both versions, the yellow and the red. And I want to thank you for all you do for all the entrepreneurs. You're awesome.
All right. Thank you for saying that. And hey, if you're watching it, subscribe down below. Steve, thank you very much. I love your product. Smart. It should have been out years and years ago, but you thought of it. You're bringing it to market. Congratulations.
Thanks, Stephen. I enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun.